Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Bits and Bob's Back Shop. I want to thank everyone for all their likes and shares on the previous video, the Fleshman BR80. Boy, that video kind of took off. I'm just a new channel. I really want to thank all the subscribers and all the viewers for their time that they take out of their busy day to watch one of my videos. I really do appreciate it. Today we're working on something a little different. This is a friend's Bachmann 440 Great Northern, and I might do another episode. He has two matching passenger cars for this that he wants lit, and I kind of build and design my own lighting kits. But for today, he asked that this locomotive get completely serviced, so we're going to do a teardown on this. If you're interested, stick around. Alright, we're back at the bench. So this unit has DCC, and so we can make it a little easier to work on, we're gonna remove these plugs, and I'll show you where the locations are. So once we remove these plugs, there'll be a small screw located in there, and then over here, and then underneath this pilot truck there'll be another screw which we can't see, but that'll allow us to pull the entire mechanism out and get that serviced. So let's get to taking it apart. unplug the electrical connectors. There we go. Now we can set the body shell off to the side. So we'll end up removing the base keeper plate. Alright, let's get this up and out of the way. There we go. Huh. The locomotive does have actual bearings. That's a sign of a quality piece. It does have actual bearings. Let's see. There's a screw right here. Let's see what happens if we take that apart. Alright, well, that's letting something go. Oh, those are the motor wires. Alright. So, the motor wires are what come up through here, it looks. Yep. So, brown is on the engineer's side. Orange is going to be on the fireman's side. So let's heat up the soldering station and let's get to unsoldering. And in fact, I can tell that barely. This wire here, you could just make out it's red. There you go. This wire right here is red for the right rail for our pickup. So we'll get this unsoldered, we'll get the motor unsoldered, and then we'll continue disassembly of this. Okay. Oof. Yeah, we'll get all that out of there. This is a belt drive too, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll check the pulleys for any signs of cracking. And we'll go from there. So let me finish getting the running gear apart. Pulley looks to be in good shape. No cracks. And now and there is our micro belt. This pulley looks good as well. I don't see any signs of cracking. So let's get these little bushings off to the end so we don't lose them. And we'll give everything here a really good bath, and we'll be back. Alright, we're back. Everything's been cleaned up, and I've installed a new microphone, so hopefully I'm coming across a little clearer. I've got some upgrades coming in for the channel. I've got a photography lighting kit coming in so that the end shoots that are at nighttime aren't all dark and faded out. And then this new microphone. So let's see if we could try and figure out how all this goes back together again, because this is actually the second day. So I will go over really quickly some of the things I'm going to be using to re-lubricate everything now that it's all nice and clean. I use a fully synthetic 80 weight, 90 weight oil. I use this mostly for the commutator side of motors and bushings and like these axle bearings. I use it to where you could see it's liquid, but it doesn't move. You know, it's slow, so it kind of stays where I put it. That's one of the main reasons. And then I'll use some middleweight oil for like the other end of the motor bearings and maybe like the front pilot wheels and the tender trucks. And then last and final is I have my little handy dandy tube of super lube, and I use this for warm gears and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll use this on the commutator side of my pancake motors. So let's get started. I'll try and do this as efficiently as possible, but I may end up speeding it up. So first thing we need to do is on the motor is replace the piece of tape, because where this motor sits, we don't want that brush holder to come in contact with the chassis. Alright, so let's get that going. And then we'll oil the motor, we'll oil our bearings, and start the assembly. That's more gooder. All right. One down, one to go. Okay. I knew that side was going to be easier just because I had more of it there. Now comes the fun part. Put all this piping in. All right. This guy sets, I think, on top. There we go. And then now these guys, I believe, sit there. Come on, there we go. What a mess. What a mess. Okay, so those do mount there. This goes into there. I need this to be here. And now this needs to come back around, but before we screw it all together, we got to pull these wires back, guys. Otherwise, I could see there's going to be pinch points, like right here. So let's get those wires to the inside. Pull some of them back. Pull some of those back. Okay. Now that's looking okay. We got to get a screw up there. Got to get a screw here. And we got to get a screw back here. You don't want to get any of these wires pinched to the chassis, because then that'll cause the decoder. This is a decoder equipped locomotive. It'll cause the decoder to fail. Okay. These. There we go. Get one of these started. Get the other side started. Come on now. Alright. Now, let's get those base keeper wires soldered on. So the red wire, which you could just see is kind of red, just by the tip there, that's going to be our right rail. Now the locomotive's upside down, so we know that this is our right rail. So when we go to install the base keeper plate, which is right here, we know that this solder connection has to go to red. So hopefully, you know, that's more gooder. There we go. Alright. A little bit of solder. Alright. Now, we need to get this one. There we go. That's looking good. Alright. These guys gotta go behind the wheels. Am I missing anything? No. Doesn't look like. That looks like a nice tight setup there. I'll take one of these. And we'll take another one of these. We want to make sure that none of our wires here are going to get pinched or screwed or touched by the screw when we tighten this down. Okay. So that all looks pretty good. Now this guy went up and back, came out this way. The reason we're being extra cautious is because the inside of this boiler is all metal. So body came out really nice. Pledge does wonders. What I'm going to do is make sure none of my wires here are touching chassis. So we'll get out our ohm meter here really fast. All right. So, yeah, we're okay now. Yepper. Now, we have the front pilot. We have the two rear screws. In here, you can see that one lead is longer than the other one. Got 700 watts of light and you can't see nothing. There you can. So those are the two leads for the LEDs. So we've got the longer one here and the shorter one there. So the longer one goes to positive, which is red, obviously. Alright, I'm going to see if I could pitch this towards the camera, maybe, sort of, kinda. There we go. Way you could test LEDs without burning them out is with your ohm meter set to diode check or continuity. Right here, you can see where my thumb is. Whenever you get that little beep, you should be okay. Now if I hit the positive and negative of my LED, you should be able to just make it. Here, let me see if I could turn the light off real quick. Now you should be able to see it better. There you go. So that's how we know our LED is hooked up and it's good. Good connection. Alright. Moving on. Slide in the front. Alright, so now we've got let's get the pilot wheel on. Like I said, it does not look as though this locomotive was made to be disassembled and serviced like this. It's like yeah, we serviced it at the factory. It never needs service. Now, should put the pilot on. All right, I'll catch you tomorrow. All right, guys. This one really tried my patience. I gotta be honest with you. Between all the roadblocks and disassembly with having to unsolder the wires for the pickup wipers, and then in order to get the motor block out, we had to unsolder the motor wires and pull them back through because that kept the rear axle drivers in. You couldn't just remove them because those wires went across that axle. And then to the final reassembly with getting the boiler supports and the uncoupling levers and all that other good stuff back together again so it looked like it was never touched. So I figured give you guys a little run by here, and the passenger cars that she's pulling, those are the ones we're going to end up lighting in the next video. So stick around for video number 2. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but those are Bachmann passenger cars as well. She'll be leaving the station. I do have to say she runs really good now. Far smoother. A little more quiet. Now you may have noticed the curved bridge here. Yeah, that's something I'm working on the layout. I 3D printed that and assembled it. Got some Atlas Code 83 snap track up there. So that'll be coming up in some other future videos. Right now this was a service request, so I kind of had to get it done. I figured I'd make an episode out of it. For anybody who thought about taking one of these apart but didn't quite know how it came apart and didn't want to end up, with a box of parts. So if you guys enjoyed this, look out for video number 2 relating to this. We're going to get those passenger cars lit. I make up and design my own constant lighting circuits. They're flicker free, and I'll show you how to do that. I'll give you a parts list, and with the lighting strips and the electronics and even a little bit of breadboard, it'll end up costing you under $4 a piece. So I think it'll be worth it. Far cheaper than what you can buy online or at a hobby shop for the same product. And we'll be going into that in the next episode. So sit tight. I'm going to be recording that right after I get this episode uploaded, and should be coming out very shortly. Thanks everyone for sticking around and watching. I appreciate all the subscribers and all the people who have given thumbs up, and even the new guys that, like that guy right over there just showed up. So this is Bernie with Bits and Bob's Back Shop, and I will catch you guys on the next episode.